This is Ashley Hill. I'm your college success coach, and today's show we're going to be talking about college prep tips for our middle schoolers. I know all the time that I tend to focus on our juniors and our seniors because of the time crunch, but today I want to help our parents, aunts, uncles, grandma, cousins, whoever is listening, those of you that have teenagers in the 7th and 8th grade in your families, in your neighborhoods. This show's for you. And so today I want to give you some specific and strategic tips that you can help your middle schoolers work on as they get ready for college. And so first of all, before we start here, I want to give you the number to call in so you can ask questions if need be. And that is 347-857-4638. Again, call in if you have questions or you want to give your comments. That's 347-857-4638. I encourage you to invite all of your friends, educators in your communities, other family members, your teenagers, to come in and listen in. So I really have some really good tips for you guys today. So first of all, I want to talk about, why are we even talking about this? The reason why is because the competition is fierce. Millions of college applicants every year are applying to college, particularly here in the U.S. But here's the thing. The number of freshman seats, so that's spots, for incoming freshmen, that number is not growing at the same rate as the applicants. So what does that mean? That means that everyone is not getting into college, or at least their ideal college. And so because it's not growing at the same rate, parents, family members, you have to help your middle schoolers stand out. That includes in their application. Are the words spelled correctly? Am I using proper grammar? That goes to the interview. Did you communicate effectively? Did the student look the interviewer in the eye? Were you confident? And then in the transcripts, what are the grades reflect? Were the high school and middle school courses, were they challenging? Parents, you really have to help your middle schoolers stand out in every aspect of the college application and preparation process. And so parents, you have this great opportunity to partner with your middle schoolers to make this dream a reality, and that dream is to get into college, and not only to get in, but to be successful, to make it a smooth transition, so that they can be successful once they get to college, they can be successful in college, and then, they can get into the careers of their choice, of their dreams. And that's really the goal here. And so one crucial thing I think it's really important for, you parents and family members of your middle schoolers is you have a gift that high school students don't have, and that's time. You have the gift of time. Now, here's the thing. Just because you have this gift of time, you have to even be more responsible with it and use your time effectively and to help your middle schoolers to manage their time wisely. Because, yes, it's only 2 grades, 7th and 8th grade, but if you use your time wisely, parents, and you help your teams to understand this and to utilize their time wisely, you can accomplish a lot. You can start, 9th grade, with the ball rolling. You can start ahead of the pack if you're using your time wisely. And I just wanted to share, earlier today I was looking up a study, and it says up to approximately 70% of 7th and 8th grade students have a little information about college and how to pay for college. Now, those are 2 crucial components, is college knowledge and financing college. And these 2 areas, and this is why I work with students, you have to be solid. And parents, I want to stress this to you, that you have to be solid in these 2 areas so that, the application process goes as it should and is successful, and that, your teams are getting into the colleges that they want, they're getting into the majors, that they want. And that's really the goal. And so, this was an alarming statistic for me. I didn't think it was quite 70%. So that's really high, and we have to change that. And, parents, I know obviously with teenagers there's so much, so many different avenues and mediums, TV, the celebs, the sports, there's so many things, that your teams can divert their attention to, but really you can be instrumental in helping them to, to understand that, yes, you have your, your extracurriculars and you want to have fun and you want to go to the mall or play video games, what have you, but this is a priority. And, that's really what I want to stress throughout this show is that parents, you have to start it at the helm. You're your child's first teacher, before they go to school, before they go to middle school. So, you have to really, be the example and show them and set the precedence in the home, that, college is a priority. And as I've shared before, if you've listened to previous shows, that's how it was in my house. I come from a military family. My parents both pushed education. Those were normal dinner conversations. So, Ashley, what are you interested in? We know you like to write, but do you think you want to be a writer? What does that mean for you? How do we translate that into, a college major, a degree program? This was a normal conversation for me. I grew up with the idea, I'm going to college. I never questioned, if I was going to college or not. I didn't know where, of course, until a little bit later, but I knew, that I was going. So, parents, I'm going to give you, I want to get through 10 things. I want to pack the show with as much information and tips to you as possible, so we're going to jump right in. Number one is create a college-going culture. And that starts at home. I'm going to say that again. Create a college-going culture in the home and at school. And so what do I mean by that, parents? I mean that you need to talk to your kids, find out what are their interests, what are some future careers that they're considering, what are some future college majors, because, a major does not always translate to the same career, just in case you didn't know that. And also school selection, what factors are important? What are the qualities that, your teens are looking for in a college? Now, obviously, if you're in the 7th grade, you're not going to college the next year. Again, there's that gift of time. But this is the time to start having these conversations. For example, let's say your teens have 3 or 4 interests. Depending on what they are, you can work with them to see, is there a way that we can, that you can use these interests, in your future career. Maybe you like to sing, maybe you like to write, maybe you need to work in or get a degree in the fine arts department, at a school. So, see, that can start to help the students to kind of, set goals in their mind of, how their college experience is going to go. But more importantly, what are they going to get into, what degree program, what activities, and that's going to lead into your career talks. So that's why it's very important to create a college-going culture. Parents, definitely those of you who have attended college and graduated, definitely share your positive experiences. Unfortunately, if you did not get a chance to attend college, if you haven't graduated from college, if you have family members, your aunts, uncles, grandma, cousins, niece, what have you, get those members around your teen. Also seek out in the community, at your churches, at your place of employment, wherever you can. But you just want to create this culture that going to college, is the expectation here. And that's what you're going to be working towards with your teen as a teen. And as you know here, you're going to hear me say this on many, many shows, I truly believe in the partnership. That's the teen, parents, that's you, that's the educators, and that's the community. Everyone has to work together. And especially, in middle school, your teens they're still developing. They're still, finding out about themselves. They're still growing, so they need that guidance. And so parents, stay plugged in. Stay plugged into this process. And I'm telling you, it's worth it to stay plugged in. So number 2 is schedule college visits. I know you're thinking, wait a second, my kid's only 12 or 13. That's okay. This is a part of, preparing for college is teens need the exposure, because I'm telling you, I work with teens and, actually even some younger than the 7th grade, and you would be amazed at what, if you ask them, what do you think college is like? I'm telling you, the range of answers, some of them will make you laugh. Some of them will just shock you at what teens think are going on. And part of that, to be honest with you, is the media, what they're seeing on TV, the different shows. And then also, what they're reading, what they're seeing on, Facebook, Twitter, what have you. And also, from experiences of their maybe older siblings have gone, maybe cousins, someone closer, not too far from their age. And so parents, that's why the exposure is important. Now, I encourage you in your community to start looking for programs. Maybe there's a program set up for your teen to go, with other, middle schoolers. But if that's not the case, don't wait for them. You take the initiative, be proactive, and, schedule a visit with your teen. It can be on the weekends, during the school year, preferably, the semester or quarter, depending on where you are. But it's so important to take your, teens to college and visit. Try to see as much as you can. I used to work with the admissions group and orientation for freshmen when I was an undergrad at Kent State University, and we would take the parents to see what dorms would look like, to get the measurements, to get an idea. We would take them to the cafeteria, to the student union, to the library, to the bookstore, to some of the areas, where the classes are for the particular majors. And, I think it's so important because the parents, your eyes are open, because some of you, unless you've graduated recently, college has changed over the years, and dorm life is definitely different. There are more factors being involved. Safety, is a huge factor now, so it's definitely important for you to take your teens on a college visit, and more than one time as well. Now, the third thing is, as parents, take your middle schoolers to college fairs. People were shocked. I was 13 when I went to my first college fair. But that was a norm for me. Me and my parents had talked about it, and I said, hey, I'm going. This is what I want to do. I wanted to, really get a feel, for what I was getting into. And at the time, I was very interested in being a journalist. And so that was on my mind. I had already, Googled the different major programs. At the time, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to Michigan State, and it's not too far away from Ohio, but it's just enough. It's got a great journalism program. But even though I had that idea in my mind, I still said, okay, well, let me see, what else is going on. Let me see what other programs are here. Let me see, what other majors, maybe there are some other related majors to what's going on. So that's what I did, at the age of 13. Now, it's so interesting. I kept going year after year. Finally, my younger brother started coming once he reached, that 7th, 8th grade age. And I kept going. And finally, I believe it was my sophomore year in high school. I had gone, the years prior. Lo and behold, I see Kent State. I had no idea what Kent State was. I didn't know it was in Ohio. I didn't know anything. But by that time, my interest had switched to science. But I found the perfect program. I applied early. That's how my experience went. But that's because I had the early exposure. So parents, please take your kids to college fairs. Number 4, stay involved, parents, and that's in the coursework and that's in the grades. First of all, it's important because parents or middle schoolers, their coursework and their grades are going to determine their level placement in high school, in terms of English, math, what have you. So parents, stay involved. If you're noticing maybe your teens' grades are slipping, don't be afraid to call the teachers, call the counselors yourself. Don't wait for them to contact you at a parent-teacher conference, but seek out the help. Get the tutoring if need be. Try to work out problems with them. Try to get maybe take them to the library on the weekends or during the week and try to get, additional resources to help, supplement what they're learning at school. Anything to strengthen your teens' knowledge and their skill set is what's really, really key. Also, the 5th one is class choices. Now, research says if your teen takes algebra by the 8th grade and geometry by the 9th grade, they're more likely to go to college. That's a fact. Math is very, very important. Even if your teen is not going into, per se, a math, maybe math education or what have you degree, they're going to have to take these courses in college. So what better way than to start now, parents? Start now with making sure your teens are solid. If they're not, as solid as they need to be, get the tutoring now, get things in place now so that they can be prepared. Also, computer skills. That is key in this world, with the way the technology is going. It's so, so very important. So parents, make sure see if your child can take a computer course. I took one in the 9th grade, but see if they can take one in the 7th or 8th grade as well. Also, a foreign language. Students will be required at most colleges now to take a foreign language, and also in high school. So parents, with your middle schoolers, start now. Start in the home, and it'd be a great way, for you to learn another language as well and to stay plugged in and to stay involved. The 6th one is key skills. And this includes English, science, research skills, and math skills. Now, English is very important because, your teens will be taking the SAT and ACT at some point in high school. And this is for, college admissions. This is a part of the college preparation process. And so that's why it's very, very important, that they get solid, especially science. Now, me coming from a science background, I love science, but I understand that everyone doesn't. But that's a very important skill set to have because, again, these are going to be the kind of courses, number one, that you're going to have to take in high school. parents, and then also your teens will have to take these basic courses in college. So focus on getting solid. And also, let me throw in this extra tip. It's not enough to know basic information anymore. Now, I know, middle school, of course, is, high school is more challenging than middle school. We know that. But the basics aren't enough. Try and work with your teens now, the 7th and 8th grade, or if you're a parent of a 6th grade listening, for your teens who are heading into middle school, help them to apply the knowledge to a real-life situation. If they can take the basic knowledge and then apply it, a step up and use their critical thinking skills, that is key. That will carry them in high school. That's definitely going to be used in college. And, of course, in the workplace. We're solving problems, at least at my job. I'm using my basic science skills, but I'm solving issues. I'm getting projects completed based off of my basic knowledge and then now applying it. So that's really the key, is to go a step further, encourage your teens to go a step further and actually apply the knowledge. Also, I want to talk about these research skills. It's a reason why your teens have to do research projects. Parents are not to annoy you. They're not to keep you up at night. But it's to help your teens to learn, one, how to work in a team. That's the focus of a lot of them. Also is to learn how to find good sources, to learn how to extract the proper information, and then how to share that information and present it in class, communication skills, organization skills, time management skills. There's so many other subset of skills in research. It's so key. And so that's why, parents, you can work with your teens, to strengthen that. We've already touched on math. I'm going to get into number 7, study skills. First of all, your teens need to learn, how do they study? Are they visual learners? Do they learn by listening? Do they learn by manipulating something physically? And whatever their ideal study learning style is, it could be more than one or a combination of all three, is to set up how they do homework and how they study in that manner. Whether it's, they're reading, and let's say, they do better by creating a mind map, taking putting one bubble in the center of a piece of paper, and they can say, for example, whatever one concept is, and then as they draw a line out, they can put down a specific detail to memorize that overall theory. That's another way to study. That's a visual way. Also, it's the time management. It's better, parents, to learn how to manage time before they start taking more difficult courses in high school. That is absolutely key. And to be organized. I'm going to say that again, to be organized. And parents, you can help out with that by you being organized. Also, I want to get into the next one is having the money talk. Parents, you need to start now talking to your kids about how are we going to finance college. Notice I said we. Now, parents, if you're going to shoulder the entire cost, you still need to talk to your teens. Your teens need to know what's going on, with financing college. Obviously, they're 12 and 13. There's no need to come to them and say, well, I'm stressed out, son or daughter, I don't know. It's not the time to have that kind of conversation, but to be honest, and be appropriate, age appropriate, and, say, hey, I'm not sure, how we're, exactly how we're going to finance your college, but we're going to work together, and we're going to look at resources. We're going to get the help, if we need it, and we're going to figure out, how we're going to finance college. And actually, I have some help in that area. I'm going to put this up on my website, www.collegeprepready.com, shortly after this broadcast. But I actually found lots of resources for scholarships. That's a huge one. Seek out scholarships first. For children under 13 and children at that age of 13. And so I just want to name a few real quickly. There's the Angela Award for female students in science. There's the Do Something Award for community activities. There's the Action for Nature Eco Hero Award. There's the BattleBots IQ. That's a robot building contest for middle school and high school students. There's a Christopher Columbus Community Service Awards. There's a Courage in Student Journalism Awards. There's a Davidson Fellows. There's a Doodle for Google. There's a DuPont Challenge Science Essay Competition, and much, much more. Stay tuned. I'm going to have that on the website, but I just wanted to mention a few. And just to show you, parents, that the resources are out there. The resources are out there. You just have to look. And so you don't have to look any further in this regard, because I have provided this for you. And like I said, it'll be up on the website shortly. But it's to look into all of your options. don't automatically think, I have to get a loan. I have to get a loan. Oh, my goodness, I have to get a loan. That's not the case, and it may not be. You work with your students to get their grades solid, to build up their resume. Actually in the 7th and 8th grade, getting involved in maybe one or two after-school activities. All of these different things can help them to be eligible for scholarships. That's taking the burden off of you, parents. That's taking the burden off of you, the stress off of you. And so then, you guys can work together on how you're going to manage the rest. But the key is to have regular, which means more than one, have regular talks. I know a lot of families only have one or two talks, at the beginning and end of the school year. But no, you want to have more than one. I want to run through these last ones here quickly, these last two. It's motivation and relevancy. Parents, this is a time, I remember when I was in middle school, a lot of kids just aren't motivated. It's just how it is. Now, I know that obviously I was more driven, I was self-motivated. But parents, if you are dealing with a teen who's not as motivated, don't give up. Keep working with them. And I think one way to do this is to show them how what they're learning is relevant. That's how the second part comes in, relevancy. Show them how what they're learning in class is relevant. And take examples straight out of their book, whatever they're working on, whether it's English, whether it's math, whether it's science, whatever area it is. Show them how, hey, this is actually, people use this in their different careers, in real life. Share parents yourself how you use it at home, Just, continue to show them different examples, continue to work with them, continue to stay plugged in. And also, here's this last one that kind of go along with the motivation, is get them exposed to careers. Now, either I would suggest to your school district, your middle school, to see if you can have different individuals come in, who can share, about their different careers. But, if that's not possible, parents, don't wait. Again, we're talking about being plugged in and being proactive. So parents, get them exposed. I appreciate my parents. They had me around so many different kind of careers. I was around writers. I was around educators. I was around scientists, chemists, social workers. They put me around a lot of different, careers so that I could get exposed to more than just what my parents did, because my parents encouraged me to seek out what career I wanted. And that's really key, parents, is don't select your career for your teens. Your teens are still developing, and you need to work with the interests that they have. Again, I want to run through, these tips really quickly again. Is number 1, create a college-going culture. Number 2, college visits. Number 3, attend college fairs. Number 4, stay involved, especially with your coursework and your grades. That was number 4, sorry. Number 5, class choices. Make sure that they're rigorous. 6, focus on key skills, English, science, research, math. Number 7, study skills. Figure the learning styles out and study accordingly. Number 8, have the money talk. Number 9, motivation and relevancy. And number 10, get exposed to careers. Now, parents, let me say this. The key is to create a strategy, and that's what I'm getting at here, is you want to build a college application, parents. And so you want to build, you want to help your middle schooler to build that. And I don't mind helping you, parents. I do have a free report on my website. Again, that's www.collegeprepready.com. And I talk about the major 5 roadblocks that a lot of students get caught up on, and this is for middle school students as well, as they're applying and getting ready for college, and how to overcome them. And I go into more depth in this report. And so parents, feel free to go onto the website and download that. That's under the free gifts link. Click on free gifts. It's the first one there. So click on that report. That's for you. Also, I just want to share how to get in contact with me. I mentioned my website. I will say it again. That's www.collegeprepready.com. Again, that's www.collegeprepready.com. Also, I'm on Facebook. I do have a group there. And feel free to post your questions. I would love to answer your questions and help you out. That's facebook.com/prep4college. Again, that's prep4college. Also, I'm on Twitter. Feel free to tweet me your questions, your thoughts, comments as well. Suggestions maybe for a show topic. That's twitter.com/prep4college. Again, that's twitter.com/prep4college. Also, feel free to email me if you have a more in-depth question, and we can talk about, working together. That's info@collegeprepready.com. Again, that's info@collegeprepready.com. Also, I do have a blog available for you. Of course, you can click on this through the website, but I will give you the direct link. That's www.collegeprepready.com/WP. That's W for water, P for Peter. Again, that's www.collegeprepready.com/WP. And so there, also I have blog posts and different videos available for you as well. And so as I wrap up, I just want to reiterate some points that we've discussed today. Parents, number one, know that the competition is fierce. Getting ready for college is a serious matter. And parents, you have a wonderful opportunity to help your middle schoolers to get ready. And as I mentioned, you have a unique position in that you and your teams, you have the gift of time. You have the gift of time. And, that's something that, unfortunately our high schoolers, they're running out of time, but you have time to, to set up a strategy. You have time to have a plan in place for these 2 years. As I mentioned that statistic, 70% roughly of 7th and 8th graders have little knowledge of college and how to pay for it. So parents, this is a chance for you to step in, as one of your team's partners in that partnership I talked about, and you can step in, you can help them, create a plan. You can take them to different programs, college fairs, different nonprofits who are, hosting different, college prep events, in your city. Take the chance to Google. I mentioned about my personal story, how I Googled colleges before going to the college fair. Parents, is to get knowledgeable yourself. And, to ask for help. As I say, you can contact me in those ways, the website, on social media, by email. You can contact me, for additional assistance as well. But the key is, parents, is to stay plugged in, to stay positive, continue to motivate your team, and to know that college is a reality. You have, again, that great opportunity to help your middle schoolers get into college successfully and smoothly. And, really, that's the goal at the end of the day. So I want to encourage you, parents, to stay plugged in, keep motivating your teams, keep seeking out resources. And I want you to join me back here next Wednesday at 6 p.m. for another great show as I'm giving college prep tips for our college-bound teens and families. Take care.